Hello, Captain.
How you doing? How you doing?
There's a smile that's on Raider Nation face, and it still ain't gone nowhere. Boy, I'm telling you, I want to first start off, Captain, and ask you, where were you the morning of November 1st when you first heard the news that the garbage has been taken out?
No, no, no. See, I got you beat, Peggy. I actually heard about it Halloween night because I had not gone to bed yet. So
Oh,
yeah, I know because you're an East Coaster like me. Before I went to bed, I think it was close to like 11 o'clock at night when the news broke out, or maybe closer to midnight. But yeah, people were like, "Bam, bam, bam, bam!" McDaniel's is gone. And again, for all of those that like to call him by other nicknames, I don't even sink there. I just call him McFired.
mm-hmm,
It's short, it's eloquent, and it's to the point. We don't have to worry about McFired anymore.
mm-hmm.
McFired was taken
McGaw.
out with the trash and the other people. And again, I have yeah, McGawn is like Ziegler and Lombardi. And when you kick a Lombardi out, even though it's not a familial Lombardi, it still says something that you're kicking a Lombardi off your team.
I
So
mean,
that was
Cap.
gone. And what I first wanted to know what was it did they fire Ziegler as well, and did they fire Lombardi as well? And when they said yes, all three of them are gone, I'm like, great, because now it's the start of a new, as I've said for a bunch of different shows, the funk, the nastiness, the clouds, the all of the negativity, the doom and gloom, and the stuff that Chicken Little always speaks of was gone. It was like after a rain shower in the spring, where the air is clean and fresh, and there's a new aroma of wow, we're starting fresh. And that's what it was when I knew that things had happened. It happened. It was the way it was, the way it should have been.
Well, well, I didn't find out until the morning of the first because I was up working and I had everything turned off, and so I only had
Hmm.
like 4 hours sleep. And I was up at 7, and I noticed my my phone just kept vibrating.
Right,
First thing I
right.
said, "Oh Lord, what's going on now?" And then I went to Facebook, and that's when I
Hmm.
found out. But I want to remind Raider Nation, just because the garbage is gone does not mean we are not left with the aftermath to clean up. This
Yep.
is still Josh McDaniel's team, the team that he built. Okay. And now we have the emergency crew in, and they are trying to pull together what odds and ends they have and use all their coaching skills to bring this team back to where they should have been. But never forget,
Hmm.
it's the team that McDaniels built. And oh, by the way, when I left the last show, I gave Raider Nation a stern talking to because I knew that Mark was not going to react to gangster behavior. He's a Raider too, in case we've forgotten. He wasn't going to respond to threats, petitions, all these kind of things that people think are effective. Mark, that would have dug his heels in even further. What did it, Captain? It was the players and it was our Raider legends. God bless them that pushed it over the top. I mean, Mark had to consider what are we talking about? Paying this guy off, probably paying other people off. He had to consider, who am I going to replace him with? I mean, all that had to come together before he could get that boy his marching papers. And oh, by the way, they didn't take Carmen Brasillo, the O-line coach, with them. I'm very disappointed.
Well, like you said, it's what's the old word that the Sixers said? It's a process, and they got rid of the top of the refuse, and I think
Mhm.
that they're saying, okay, you got to prove it. Anybody that is here on McDaniels's dime is on a okay. You got here, and you remained after we took out the guys we needed to take out, but you're skating on thin ice. So now it's just a matter of do you have the wherewithal and the fortitude and the ability to be a professional at your job level,
Right.
and you will continue to have your job. And again, this is all on an interim basis because again, we have this season to see what this is a tryout. This is a tryout for the
Exactly.
last. Well, now it will be nine games total. And like I said, I don't have rose-colored glasses saying when we get to the playoffs. That would be something that would be wonderful if it happens. But this is
We'll
a
be pleasantly
nine-game
surprised, you
tryout
know?
for the staff and the players. Right. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm more apt to say the word playoff and not sound like Jim Mora that at this time than I
Not
was,
yet.
3 weeks ago. Playoffs, you playoffs. Wait, diddly poo, just like
Hmm.
Jim said. Now it's something that can happen, but now it's up to the players to play, the coaches to coach, and the team to gel to see what we got and what we need to do to tweak and move forward for next year. And this is like an extended training camp and preseason for 2024.
And I also wanted to point out that, these two guys that are in charge now, Pierce and our new GM, it's not just a tryout for them. It's much more than that, I believe. It's about bringing back the Raider that was totally lost by having these abominations from New England in here messing up the karma. And so now what we got here is like you said, a chance for Pierce to show us if he can lead. Now I'm gonna tell you one telling moment, and I'm neutral about all of this, by the way. I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. But I watched the game Sunday, and we were in one of our drives where we got stalled, and it's going to be a 50-yard kick for Carlson. Pierce, excuse me, a Hardigree is standing in front of Pierce. One of the many changes because nobody stood near Josh, but Pierce leans over to talk to Hardigree. What should we do? And Hardigree gives the field goal sign. Okay, and then Pierce immediately gives the field goal sign. Said that kind of communication is going to build solidarity. It lets us
Mm-hmm.
know that there is a connection going on already between these guys. What a relief. I mean, what a relief, Captain. But now I want to go to talk about what we've actually seen in the last 2 weeks. And I must say, I'm very proud of the defense. You know, I've been screaming about our defense, and it's a shame that they waited until Derek was gone before they finally get a top 15 defense, which we now, ladies and gentlemen, have a top 15 defense. Never mind, they haven't been tested yet. They will be on Sunday for sure, but it's a refreshing thing to see.
Right.
And I wanted to know what your thoughts were. Let's just talk about the Giant games. Excuse me, the Jet game. Now, mind you, we got an early Christmas present because the worst quarterback in the NFL was on the field. But what are you thinking about it when you think about the Jets game?
Well, I thought about the fact is that just like we had something to prove the week prior when Pierce was on the field and they had all of that momentum going, the Jets came in with that same attitude about, oh, well, they think they're just going to run over us. And
Mm-hmm.
we actually, even though we haven't been tested, we have one of the better defenses in the NFL. And we
Now
have
we do.
something to prove because everybody's overlooking us. So just like it came out from the first half, it was a matter of which defense could dictate and could the offense over dictate. I know that's not a real word, but
Neither team has offenses.
Right. So let's see what we can do. And again, that's why that first half, if I'm not mistaken, was a 9-6, and it was at the very end because we were down 3 with that long field goal at the end. But it was a gut punching, heart grunching, heart just palpitating, just a matter of being kicked in the nuts each time and seeing which guy can stand up afterwards. It was great in that respect, in that the defenses dictated what was going to happen. And I almost basically said, whoever scores a touchdown this game is going to win, because that's how hard
I felt
it
that
was
early.
to get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We were
so,
playing the number 2 defense. The number 2 defense, but see, there's something about them. They're human. They're going to get tired, and that's exactly what happened because of their horrific offense. And I must also remind people that offensive coordinator, hi Andrew, that offensive coordinator Hackett. I mean, I don't know who he's calling plays for. I have no idea. He didn't get the memo that Rodgers went down game 1. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps calling the same plays for that boy, and that's helped our defense. I mean, the play calling was just horrific. But I did like the fact that once again the running game emerged, and it could only emerge because that Jet defense they were worn out. They've been worn out for a little while now. And by the second half, we were able to do some of the things. But Captain, did you notice how they came out firing at Devontae? Did you see the game plan at first? They thought they were going to use the pass to open up the run. Did you notice that? How many times Devontae was targeted?
Right. And honestly, I know you know, because I could tell by the expression on your face, you're like, I don't agree with that. I actually did agree with a passing game to open up the running game, because it's taken all these people, that they're playing. There's like almost 11 in the box, okay, because there are no passes getting these guys open. We needed to make sure that we pushed the linebackers back a bit and have the safeties and the corners play off a bit. And the only way to do that is with actual guys catching the ball. And, so the bubble screens and whatnot. Now take that. Let's hit the tight end. And I still haven't seen it, by the way. I want to see a seam pattern with the tight end.
How many times have I said you have to attack the middle of the field to get those linebackers off the line of scrimmage? You have got to make them guess down to down. Do I have to go into pass coverage? Do I have to cover somebody in front of me? Can I not commit to the line of scrimmage? That's one way to open up the line. The problem with the strategy of coming out throwing, and I think some people agree with me, is you were throwing right into the teeth of the Jets' strength. Okay? They're the number one team against the pass. And as the game progressed, you saw why, because of that pass rush. Let's face it, we couldn't get anything deep all day long. We never did. And that's going to be a factor next week in Sunday in Miami. But let's just keep going.
Okay, but here's also the fact is that they actually did throw over the top at least once or twice. Granted, the one to Adams, I was actually, from my vantage point, would have been down the left sideline, was a bit over for him, but it was a great type of play. They actually tried to loosen it up with, I think, might have been Tucker on another play. I'm not sure, but they actually threw, at least that I can remember, 2 plays that were over the top. It was past the linebackers, past, like a safety coming over just to make sure that they knew that we could do that. You try to have Jimmy Garbageopolo throw a pass that deep, his arm would fall off. Okay, but at least now with our quarterback, you can say that, and that would be something that, like you said, it's going to be a factor next week. Okay, or actually in a couple days, because we're already in this next week. It still needs to be done. The running game still needs to exist. It still needs, and again, you have finally Josh Jacobs running for over a century, and that needs to be done again. And it was the fact is that they did that. They did some jet sweeps with Tucker as well to open it up. They had some quick toss pitches to Jacobs to the outside, which was something that I hadn't seen in quite a while. You're actually going to the outside, which is good if everybody keeps sucking up into the middle. And even on that one play, I think that was near the end of the game, there was like that third down play when we were trying to run clock, and everybody saying, why did you do that short pass? It was incomplete. But I said the play calling was good in the fact that everybody was sucking up. And if the pass would have been complete to Mayer, that's game. That's game right there. And it was just a matter of the execution wasn't there. So you got to have some wrinkles in there so that they're not always saying, okay, run to the middle, run to the middle, run to the middle. And maybe, hit on the outside.
But you have to face it. The Raiders are still, because of McDaniels, the Raiders are still a one-dimensional team. And that is a factor that I want everybody to keep in mind. I mean, you don't go to the playoffs or win playoffs with only one dimension of your offense functioning properly. And this is something that is going to take time. I see hard agree. And let me tell you something I also saw for the first time, even when Gruden was here. Let's go back 20 years. Hard agree wasn't afraid to change his strategy. He wasn't afraid to do different things and adjust to what the defense was giving him. I haven't seen that in a long, long time. Actually have an offensive coordinator that sees what's going on the field and then adjusts. But I'm telling you, I don't care about 2 or 3 attempts to go deep. There need to be at least 10 to 15 a game. We got speedster, let's start using them. But you know what the problem is? The problem is the pass blocking of the middle of our O-line. And please don't tell me about Colton Miller being out. He's a tackle. That's outside. The middle of our O-line has been getting blown up since day one. And the Jets game was no exception. They still can't get that boy more than 3 seconds. And you need at least 6 seconds, right, Captain, for something to develop deep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he does have somebody that's open.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what we can do. This is why I wanted them to take Brasillo out with him. I want to know why my guards and center can't pass block. Game 10. I want to know. Can somebody, maybe someone of our audience can answer that. I want to see. Renfro can't get more targets because the boy doesn't have time to find them. He just doesn't have time. 1, 2, 3. That's it. They are on him.
Yeah, I actually, and maybe it's me, but and I'm going to dime somebody out. The guy that was sitting behind me this game, that when we weren't doing anything, he's like, "Bring in Jimmy G. I want to see 10. I'm like, are you effing serious? So the guy so it can be broken down faster, so we can be sacked instead of running away from the sack, so the incompletions could come with less yardage." I said, are you nuts? It's like, oh, hey, I've seen enough of the kid. Bring me back Garoppolo. And I just wanted to look. I did. I turned around the full turn to like, what will that accomplish? What will that accomplish?
But you know what they're saying. bring me experience. Okay, that's what they're
Well,
really
here's the
saying.
thing.
And they
No.
want the young. No, we're committed to the young guy. We're going to have to take our lumps right along with him. This is simple. As simple as that. We commit. That's it. He's not going anywhere unless he gets injured. But I think they were saying a more experienced quarterback might have found those opportunities. The young boy, let's face it, he's having a difficult time dealing with all that pressure in his face. You notice I said the guard and the center. The pocket is collapsing right in front of him. He's got to roll out. He's got to learn how to throw on the run. And I think Hart agreed. I have a little confidence in him. I think he's going to work it in. I really do. I think that he's going to teach that young guy how to roll out so he can see the field and give himself more time. He's got to buy more time because that middle of the O-line is never going to block better. They're just not.
Well,
so
at least not
don't
this
even
season.
expect it. Not this season. It's not going to happen. And he needs to buy more time. And maybe they were saying, the vet would know, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. We're committed to O'Connell. That's it. And right, Captain. End of discussion.
Yeah.
But still,
and Peggy, as I told you before, and you were against it, and I said, if you know you're going to get rid of McFired, and I'll call him McFired, at the end of the season, I said, just do it now. Rip the Band-Aid off, okay? And they did. So if they already knew they were going to do that, at least they did that portion. So now the question is like, is there somebody available on somebody else's practice squad, interior offensive line, that is better than what we have? Or here's the other thing. Mumford played decent at right tackle, okay? Illuminor played sufficiently for Miller, who was injured, and Mumford has played a guard before, okay? Do you go ahead and bite the bullet and move one of either Illuminor or Mumford over to that one guard position and get rid of the weakest portion of the guards and figure out who that is?
Tried them at guard. Did you see it? Well, we have tried them at guard. It was Illuminor that was getting blown up against San Diego. Mac was blowing him up.
Okay,
and then they put Mumford in there, and he got blown up twice.
Peggy, that was, by the way, it's Los Angeles. I know you want to say San Diego, and that'd be like $1 in the cuss bucket.
The Redskins, the Commanders are the Redskins. That's the end of that.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is
politically,
that I got
the politically correct, they can be offended. I'm so sorry.
No. I'm just saying it's like they did actually move, but they're just San Diego, Los Angeles gargoyles. Point is we need a guard, okay? And there's gotta be somebody that's probably sitting on somebody's practice squad that is better than what we have right now.
In 10 games, Captain, he has not been found. 10 weeks.
Well, have they really been looking?
Well, I don't believe Ziegler was looking for anybody. I don't think Ziegler was looking for nobody. We had a young quarterback released today by New England, and the Raiders claimed him on waiver, Jones. I don't think that would have happened when Ziegler was here. It wouldn't have happened. I mean, slowly but surely, we may see the guard, but now you're 11 games into the season, Captain. You got to get the O-line has to have, above all, chemistry. They have to have that feel of playing next to each other and knowing signals. And, the time to do that was game 4. It was time to go out and get some guards because you knew then they were trash.
I get that, but it's like you can't unless you have a DeLorean with the 88 gigawatt power boost with Dr. What's his nose, played by Christopher Lloyd, It ain't gonna happen. Okay, so there's no 88 gigawatts that are coming in a DeLorean at fast enough for us to go back. So what we got to do is, at least in the present, looking towards the future, see what's available. Because again, this is, like I said, this is an extended preseason for 2024 to see what works and what doesn't work. Okay,
Right.
and we can do that, because again, and I go back a couple years ago, and people, if you remember correctly, there was a very good to great possible center by the name of Jimmy Morrissey that was out of the University of
I know
Pittsburgh.
you keep talking to him.
Hey, that we had,
you know who else?
And we had, and he was snatched. So there are people that are there that could be snatched up as well. So I'm saying, if it can happen to us, let's do the same thing again, because there's got to be some other there.
I'm still looking at Brasillo, and I keep bringing him up. I mean, if you can't depend on your O-line coach to teach your guys how to do something different, you know they're not pass blocking where they're getting blown up every play, and the better D-lines are going to own them. That means your young quarterback isn't going to have time. You've been knowing this for 11 weeks. Why has that move not been made? Maybe we need to wait. But I thought that was the key to opening up the passing game, and which is another reason why I was glad to see McFire go.
If you're going to say that, you've actually been right. Well, if you're going to go there, you've actually been knowing that for about, was it 16, 26, 27
Oh,
weeks.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because you knew it last year.
Preseason. And you knew this, but see, they were run blocking, so everybody.
I'm not even right. I'm not even counting the preseason. I'm counting the 16 regular. I apologize. 17 plus 11 is what? 28 games. Preseason notwithstanding, because preseason is where they were trying to jumble and all this other stuff. You've known for 28 regular season games that you guys got some that can run block when they gel. Okay, then who's going? And I agree with Georgia Patriot. We just beat the best D line we have to face this season so far. But remember, Kansas City.
We didn't beat them. We didn't beat them. We just were able to do more than the Jet offense was able to do against our D line. Now that's just the fact of the matter. You really didn't. You still were one-dimensional. You really did not control the passing lanes because you couldn't throw the ball. You never had time to set up anything deep, anything even mid-range. I mean, we just didn't have the time. And that has got to be fixed. For all these people that are talking about Raider playoff, that isn't fixed, and we're not going anywhere. You have to be multi-dimensional. And you have to be able to throw the football and deep. And Devontae needs to catch. How many touchdown passes does Devontae have this year? Does he have one?
I don't remember. It's not very many. I don't. Well, no, he has one. I saw in Buffalo, and so I saw him have one in Buffalo, and I don't recall any others.
Right, and do you know he has no catches of 40-plus yards this year? Did you know that? None. That's because the quarterback that was playing prior to 2 weeks ago couldn't throw it 40 yards. Well, and that's something to be said. But now we got a quarterback that can, except he ain't got time. He's never going to have the time.
See,
those three pieces of trash in front of him. Okay, and I'm just going to call it that because I've been watching it for 11 weeks. So it's 10 weeks. So I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at three guys who haven't been taught how to fix whatever leverage problems. I mean, Andre James is just being tipped over at this. Did you see it? He's being tipped over. The quarterback has to be able to step up and step into his throws to throw 50 yards. When your center is at your feet, you're not stepping up anywhere. And that's the problem that I see every week. They're either blasting through our guards or blasting through our center. And Colton being out made no difference. And he, by the way, hasn't had a great year either. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, he's ranked 63 among offensive tackles in the league right now after 10 games. He's not having a great year. And that's why, I mean, who are these guys? But Captain, let's see if I can get you to give me some grades for Sunday's game. Give me a grade for offense.
Well, in comparison to the Jets offense, overall,
thank you, Raider Save. He said Devontae has 3 touchdowns in 10 games.
I only know that. Yeah, thanks, partner. I only remembered the one. Overall, I mean, comparatively, they got an A against the Jets offense. But
the offense?
Really. Well, let me remember, I'm quantifying if you're going to compare the Raiders offense compared to the Jets offense.
I just want a grade for the offensive performance on Sunday.
The offensive performance was a C minus.
I have to agree with you. I'd give them a C minus too. And they get the C is because they managed to get that running game going. Okay. And and of course, that Josh had to feel good his first 100-yard rushing game of the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was very happy for him because he's like, I know it can't just be me. But Jacobs, you still have to be reminded he wasn't getting that yardage until someone remind him, which you have to remind him every game. Look for the cutback lane first. If your line is going one way, your first view is the other way. Then you look to going behind your blocking. And that all should take 2 seconds. Okay? He still has to be told, look for the cutback lane. Stop putting your head down like a bull and trying to run people over. Right? He loves doing that, doesn't he?
Yeah, and actually, what was it? He got a $19,000 fine because of that.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, these things, the helmet to helmet thing going on, but that means you're not seeing. When you put your head down, you no longer see. Okay? And that's why he keeps running right into where the traffic is. He's the first look. When you see your line going in one direction, your first look is to the cutback. It's got to be there. All the great ones do it. You should see the film. I thought somebody was, until they showed me the film of the great one, the great running backs of the NFL. They always look for the cutback first. They may take a step, but then they're pivoting to the cutback lane instantly. I mean, it happens in like a second or two. Josh isn't there yet. He's not that kind of running back. Okay, and of course I agree with Captain, the C minus. How about defense? What's your grade, Captain? Everybody else, you can give your grades too. I want to hear your grades for the defense Sunday.
Considering that they kept them out of the end zone, considering that they got the interception at the end that was needed, I would give him a solid B plus.
Yeah. And I'm in agreement with you. I'd give him a B. I wouldn't give him that plus quite yet because quiet as it kept, we gave up 357 yards of offense to a team that only scored 12 points. Okay. I mean, they were grabbing off huge chunks of yardage, which makes me again concerned about Miami for a number of reasons, but it raises my concern because those huge chunks in Miami are going to turn into touchdowns. So we're still having zone issues, okay? Which brings me to another Pierce moment. Remember the last play of the game and the Raiders called a timeout. And the reason is because Pierce looked up and saw that there were only 2 men deep for the last play of the game. And that's why he called the timeout, to rearrange the defense. Oh, Graham's defense, okay? And he wasn't afraid to do that. And then when the play gets snapped, now there's 6 men deep. Just that little adjustment right there, I mean, is what I expect my head coach to do. And I'm really liking his instincts a lot. All right, special teams, God bless them. I'm giving them an A. I always give them an A. What's your grade for our special teams this week?
Wow, I mean, and you say I'm a soft touch if you say I always give him an A.
No, I do.
I would say I'm trying to think. I don't recall anything being hard. I mean, the tackling, like I said, the punt coverage tackling was excellent. The punt coverage period was excellent.
Right.
Obviously, there were no points left on the board. So the kicking overall was good. So I guess if you're going to put it, I didn't see anything that was really horrendous, then yeah, I guess we can give him an A.
Right. And I want to go back to something Asylum just said about Peters needing to be benched. Here's the problem about Peters. He's not being played. Peters is a man corner forced to play zone. Do you remember the last time one of ours, a man corner?
I know this.
Right? You know
and
who he was.
And he was in the stadium last Sunday, too, because they had a close-up on him.
Cool. A man corner is being forced to play zone. This cannot continue. Peters never advertised himself as good covering a zone. He's good on the bump and run. That's what he does. And if you don't trust him bumping and running on their best receivers, and oh, by the way, you're gonna man up this Sunday. They're gonna man Peters up with somebody. He's just not being played right. He's not a tackler. Okay, he never exercised. Poor little Namdi. He was the Eagles. Remember they had Cromartie, and they had another top corner. And their solution was, instead of having them fight about who's going to be the starting corner, let's just play zone. Namdi just disappeared from football. They drove him out of football. And I think that
right to the loving arms of Kerry Washington.
I know it. I knew you were going to say that.
And all her money. And oh, by the way, into his new career on Broadway. So it didn't totally suck for Nnamdi Asomugha.
No, he didn't. But I swear to God, I get on the Eagles all the time when they talk about how much money Nnamdi took from him. But to get back to where Peters are, I think it wouldn't be fair. And I understand there's a question about Peters in general, but he's not a zone guy. You're showing the goal of any coach, no matter what, if you acquire a player, is to to put him in position to make good plays. He'll never be in position to make good plays as a zone DB. It's just not him. And but let's go to finally coaching. Captain, what do you think about the coaching Sunday?
I mean, if for all the things that we said, the heads up plays, the fact that I don't recall. Oh, I challenge flags when it was warranted. Although the one guy was saying, well, because the guy behind me, because I was sitting in another seat at the time, they said,
Right.
why can't they challenge that? And it was on the turnover. It was
right. Mm-hmm.
They said, well, why can't they challenge that? I said, well, because it's a turnover, and turnovers go to New York automatically.
Mm-hmm.
To be looked at. You can't challenge a challenge from New York, because that's basically what it is. And he's like, oh, well, thanks for letting me know that. I'm like, dude, it's like, learn the rules. Okay. And this was a different person than the schmuck that wanted Jimmy.
But you were in a different seat, of course.
I was in a different. I actually, for the first part of the game, I was in the second row, because the two people that were on the island, the second row, didn't show up until about 2 minutes to go, like at the 2-minute warning of the first half. So I upgraded my own seats. I was like, yeah, not bad. So when they came in, I went back to my, oh my God, I'm in the sixth row.
But let's go back to what you're thinking about. What grade you're giving about the coaches?
Considering that this is the game that they're starting, in compliance, I'm going to give them a solid B+, not an A yet. But I mean, I would say the heads up plays, I would give them an A for, that they knew when to call timeout and when not to do stupid shit like that. I'd give them an A that, but overall I'd say B+. I was very happy with that.
And I'd give him a B too, a B, because as long as Brasillo's still a coach, he gonna knock their grade down 1 for me. He's always gonna knock their grade down. Because
wait a second.
That
I'm gonna
O-line.
Hey, Dante, Peggy doesn't like you. So get your shit packed at the end of the year, because you ain't coming back. I'm just saying.
Out of here.
You're out of here. There you go.
I mean, but I liked the boldness of the offensive coordinator. The willingness to adjust and shift and change his game plan. Gruden didn't do that. Musgrave did to a certain extent. Olsen, he was clueless. He wouldn't know how to do it. I mean, you have to change. It's a chess game. You move, counter, move, counter. That's what strategy is about. And if the other guy makes a move and you never respond, that's what we've been looking at for a long time. And I kudos to Hardegree for making a counter move. It may not have been the right one, but at least he did. And for Graham, he's still that defense is solidly improving every week. They're playing like a unit, not 11 guys. I love it. And we forgot to talk about the number 1 defensive player this week, which was not Crosby, but
my boy. I call him Mickey in honor of the writer, because for you that don't know who Mickey Spillane is, shame on you. But my boy Mickey Spillane, who has 3 picks this year.
More than the entire Raider defense last year, but go ahead.
Right. But it was the quality of the one that he had at the end of that should have been the game sealer. Had the offense gotten that little push pass that play. Yeah, I know it still left them time for the, oh my God, what the hell is going to happen on the last play. But I would say Spillane was, and the thing is that he's dynamite. He has again, as Georgia says, he's got a broken hand. He's playing with a broken hand.
Yeah, or bingo. GA Peggy, bingo. But see, that's where we talk about getting the captain, talk about getting back to the Raider way. Okay. We got guys out there that are willing. All you need to do, if I can suit up and I can run, why do I need? There is a classic picture. That's why I wish we could show. I don't know whether people remember it, where they showed Gene Upshaw and Art
yeah.
Shell.
Yeah.
I don't know what they had wrapped around their hands. Both of their arms look like clubs.
They were clubs. Actually actually in the book they would check them beforehand, right? But they had basically, like, was it plaster of Paris? So
yes.
by the time it was done, it would harden up and be used like a club.
Because, like the good old days,
right,
man.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying hard enough. But they had like and so did Bob Brown. Bob Brown had one that would just, oh my goodness, just use as well. And I'm gonna interject, Peggy. The best story about Bob Brown was when he told Deacon Jones to stop with the head slap. He said, "Stop with the head slap. Stop with the head slap." And Deacon Jones like, "Who the hell are you telling me to stop with a head slap?" But Bob Brown had those piercings on his helmet. He had them so that they were sharp. So instead of putting that snap on there, Deacon Jones went for the head slap, and his hand got impaled in one of those damn things. Hey, that's Raider football.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Spillane is a throwback.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, he has put the heart in that defense, just like Crosby. Crosby has the fire, but Spillane is the heart. And I knew it had to be a linebacker. There was no way this defense could improve unless our linebacking core improved. Welcome back, Diablo. Diablo was back. He had 7 tackles, 4 solo. I mean, but Spillane had the hat trick. He had, what do they call it when you have all 4? He had a tackle for loss. He had a sack. He had a
turnover. Yeah, he had a turnover. Yep.
So he had
CFL and a turnover. Yeah.
He was the
football hat trick.
And besides Carlson, who, by the way, really kept us in this game the first half, okay?
Yep.
I named both Carlson and Spillane the heroes of the game because I thought those guys were just tremendous. They were doing their job. And we really are bringing in. Do you notice they're bringing in more linebackers, right?
Yeah. Jalen Smith. It was on the practice. Needs to learn what's going on. Here's something. The head coach was a linebacker, so he knows the value of a linebacker, which is something that we haven't had in, I don't know, years. And it was mesmerizing to me because we used to have a GM by the name of Reggie McKenzie, who was a linebacker. And he never brought any decent ones in.
Oh, no, because he was busy going to get coffee for Jack Del Rio, right? What are you doing here at the table? I mean, he was busy doing whatever Jack Del Rio told him to do instead of what a GM's job is to do, which is to protect the franchise against making bad football decisions. And I'm hoping our new GM understands his role is not to be the head coach's buddy. And let's hope, let us pray that Mark does not make the same mistake that he made with Bisaccia, that he looks hard at the guys that he's got in now. For one thing, they're going to be a lot cheaper than anybody can go out and get. Let's just call it the way we're going to call it, okay? They're going to be way cheaper. The other part is, and everyone's going to know them and know their style. It's the familiarity, and they believe in the Raider way. And I put up the post the last time I was here. I came out of this show, and I immediately put up on my Facebook page, the problem with McDaniels is that he is not Raider, and he never will be. We got guys that are Raider. I'm for one, Mark, you done tried everything. You done brought Gruden in. You had the three blind mice when you first came up, bringing a Dennis Allen and a McKenzie who had never spent a day in the positions they were in. You've tried everything. How about trying just good old homegrown talent? Don't make the same mistake you made with Bisaccia. I mean, because why? We got all we need right here. But we shall see. Yeah, and I think Pierce deserves, even if we don't make the playoffs, okay? Pierce still deserves a hard look.
Yeah.
Believe that. I think he still deserves a harder look than Bisaccia got.
Well, at least Pierce can bring, and I've said this again and again and again, and I know I'm preaching requiring this. Bisaccia was great for the players as the players loved him, but he brought nothing to the table X's and O's wise. At least with Pierce, he knows how to be a defensive coordinator. He was one defensive coordinator down in Arizona State. He knows something about a side of the ball, so that at least half your team should be locked up, knowing that the coach knows something about what is. And they say special teams are 1/3. Not really. It's about 40-40-20, right? 40% offense, 40% defense, and 20% special teams. So if you got 40% of your team locked up in at least an ideology that the coach can bring for you, you're almost halfway there, literally, with that.
Literally. And let me answer Asylum 77 about our little young one, Tyree Wilson. Now, first of all, the Raiders are notorious for not drafting people unless they spent a couple of nights in Casa Permanente, right? Unless they need surgery before they can actually play. But never mind, Ziegler did the same thing. So, I mean, McKenzie was notorious for it. You have to understand when a young player comes into the game, and this is what I have problems with in general about football fans today. They think that all players come ready-made, like C.J. Stroud, to come in their rookie year and wow and dazzle everybody. Sorry, folks, that only happens to 10% of the rookies. The rest of them need time. And our guy needed more time because he couldn't even do any off-season work, right? Because of the foot surgery. And oh, by the way, that foot injury, he still favors that foot when he pushes off. We watched it. It's probably not hurting anymore, but it's not the same foot either that it was before the surgery. So we've got to give him time for his body to get back to normal after that too. So he's fighting two things: the newness of being in the NFL, right? And then that foot injury. I know it's hard for people to watch, but I'm sorry. Only 10% of the college players drafted are going to become contributing superstars in their first year. Go ahead, Cap.
Okay, I want to check you on that because both Asylum and myself have been saying for a long time that don't be so critical of Tyree Wilson because again he had no time in the pre-camps. He only got into the last portion of training camp because he's coming off of plantar fasciitis surgery. So this only played like a portion of one preseason game, if that, and then all of these games. So he's only played 10 games total?
Yes,
max, right? And he's getting into it. And oh, by the way, we weren't counting on him to be the starting defensive end this year because that position was taken by a guy who's no longer with us, who used to wear the number 55. So I like what we see with Tyree. he is ingratiating himself and getting what he can, and slowly, week by week, building upon what his abilities are. So
Mm-hmm.
it will be a near to finish, I would say near to finish product by the end of the season, and providing he doesn't have any setbacks physically,
Mm-hmm.
will be that player that we saw on the
Mm-hmm.
tape in college, and he will be the addendum to, or sorry, the bookend to Max Crosby next year, which is what we wanted anyway. It's just
Yeah,
not the way people wanted it.
I'm not quite sure that he has that ceiling of talent that we're looking for, but we honestly need to give him more time. And oh, by the way,
Yeah.
somebody is mentioning the name of a former quarterback, talking about the fans are booing him. Let me tell you something. Down there in New Orleans, they're booing Dennis Allen, and they're booing that offensive line. And those are the things that people have to understand when a team comes together like this team to be good. You got to have that perfect storm. You just got to have that perfect storm. Oh, by the way, Cooks is not doing a bad job taking Chandler's place. Don't you think? I don't
No,
think so.
no. I
I
mean,
don't
and
think
Kuntz had the
I
the
don't see
strip
where we're
fumble the other
missing
day.
anything. Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
sack.
Yeah,
And
well,
and and
the strip fumble. Yeah, the strip
right.
fumble stack. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
he's played well. And granted, he needed to step up to keep his roster spot, and he did. And I
Right.
think it's because he's with the right people.
Finally.
When
Finally.
McFired was the coach last year and he was on Kuntz's ass, I'm saying, like, dude, you might want to
Mhm.
pack your bags because you ain't making it. I'm glad that he made it last year and into this year, and is showing what we saw with one of his potential. Remember, he went to the University of Buffalo, where another former
Former
player,
end, yes.
former end played. And I mean, I'm not saying that he can evoke the memories of 50 Who, as I call him. And I can't wait
Hmm.
until that guy retires so I can actually wear a retro jersey of a former Raider great when he's no
Hmm.
longer playing. I won't do it before then, but I got a bunch
Not
of really
before then.
nice. I got a bunch of really nice Mac jerseys I can wear once he's retired. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
getting back to Coons, and there's a reason why he's wearing 51, and I know what it is because they were thinking that he was going to be that guy, and he will slowly ascend to a more prominent position. I said, with what Coons has, with what Wilson can have, yeah, we still need somebody opposite Crosby, but I like the old baseball analogy of like, you got to build a team. We got to get 457 on base percentage. Well, what are you going to do? You got to get John B's brother. You're going to get the guy I can't remember, Scotty Hatfield, and you're going to get the other guy, David Justice, and you're going to make a compendium of what you were missing. Well, I know it's not baseball and this is football, but I tell you, we're going to make a compendium in the aggregate. That was the word I was looking for, of what we need on the opposite side. We got rid of Chandler Jones, and again, hope he gets the help that he needs. But in the aggregate, we are getting a defensive end on the other side that plays sufficiently. And that's what it
That is.
amounts to.
And I hate to have to leave on you, but my hour is up and I'm loaded with work. If I'm going to have a prayer seeing that game Sunday, I got to put my time in at the Rock, Captain. But we will see you in 2 weeks. Does that bring us past Thanksgiving to the 28th?
Yeah, it brings us past Thanksgiving. So we're good
So
to go.
I will see everybody out here on the 28th. And in the meantime, hopefully we have good things to talk about, because by that time we would have handled 2 contending teams. And as I say, do not forget what kind of team we have. It is still Josh McDaniels' team.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll see everybody soon.
Hey, Peggy, always a pleasure, hon. Love you, and thank you for being
Love you too, Captain. And thank you for everybody making their wonderful comments.
the DC Peggy that we know. The DC Peggy we know. I didn't say a W word. I said the DC Peggy.
You can
We
call me
know
a
it well.
winch anytime. You know I ain't got
Woo!
a problem.
Hey, you
You
heard
know
it
what
here.
I think about the PC crowd.
There
Anyway,
you
we'll
go.
talk. We'll talk soon, Captain. Bye,
All right,
everybody.
love you. Thank you, honey,
Bye.
for being here. That's my Peggy. Yeah,
That's right. You know I don't
damn
care
right.
about that.
That's
Bye
right.
bye.
All right, bye, Peggy. All right, that's awesome. So I know I'm not as what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not as fun as Peggy, and you can spar with me as well. It's just like Georgia Patriot says, just win. Okay. Um, Raiders. That's a good question. Okay. If we had not hired McFire, do you think Carr would still be our quarterback? Well, I that's a big loaded question because who would we have here? Who would have been the coach had McDaniels not come in, right? Because if you say it would have been Bisaccia, but you can't say that because Bisaccia, like I said, was a great leader, but he didn't have anything going for him as far as he needed a great offensive coordinator to come in. He needed a great defensive coordinator to come in. If he would have stayed the head coach, most likely Carr would have stayed. But that's something in the fantasy world that we don't know. We don't know. But it is a good question. Jack's right. The team went from 0 to oh my God after firing Mick. And I thank you for calling him McDaniels. Mick fired. And we tell you what, all I said, all the people going and loving Peggy. There you go. That's for Peggy. I know it ain't for me. Georgia says the Kansas City Chiefs go down to the Legion. I still got my tickets for sale. Okay, they're on Ticketmaster. So, if you want them, I agree with Kev. We weren't going to pay Carr $40 million though, and I kind of think I'm also with 75-28. Carr would have been it, but was he really it? I think we still needed a change. I think we knew what would it change. Charismatic captain, but thank you, Saf. Yes, I'm not as charismatic. Thank you, brother. Thoughts on the waiver wire pickup today? I don't know a lot about it other than I'll be honest. I was out. I had my physical rehabilitation for my back and sciatica, and then I went to eat some dinner, and I came back in order to make sure that there was a studio here. So, from what I understand, the coach knows about him, and he coached him in high school and college. From what I was reading, if that's true, okay. So, in that respect, at least the head coach knows about him, okay. But there is the other question: is why? If you're talking about the guy that New England got rid of, okay, there's got to ask, why did they get rid of him? I don't know. Well, okay, Jack, then you go buddy up with Alex. I don't care. Kenna, by the way, I need to talk to you about redoing my resume, sir, and you know exactly what I'm talking about because I got 0 looks. 0. You know what I'm talking about, brother. I need to talk to you personally. Jack Jones. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. If the coach likes him and knows about him, then he's a known commodity, and he's bringing him in based upon what he knows. So that's a good thing. Jack's still asking for Alex's number. Alex, am I brain farting? Who Alex is? Who's Alex? I don't know. Anyway. We are opening it up now. Like I said, if you want to come in and actually talk, okay, I'm going to put the link in here. Okay, come on in, hit the link, hit the link. Come on in and rap. I given give Spuds is out. Oh. Okay. Who's asking for his number? Oh, okay. I get it now. Smug's number. Now I get it. Okay. Anyway, they're buddies. They're buddies. They're buddies. Hit the link. Come on into the show if you want to talk. If you're not, oh my goodness. So that's why he was let go? Two loaded guns? Oh my God. I would hope, God, I would hope that the kid has more, what's the word I'm looking for? Wherewithal? Okay, if he only got released and isn't in prison, I know that's a hefty fine because you carry one gun, that's a hefty fine. Carrying two, I mean, I'm sure they probably could have thrown him in prison for that. Okay, so anyway, we'll see. Zay Jones just got busted. My goodness. And I got Zay's dad's number in my phone still. AP was his high school coach. He played at Arizona State. Yeah, okay, so he knows his ability. He knows what type of person he is. But if he does something like that, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, hit the link, hit the link, hit the link. I put it up. I'm going to put it again. You want to come in and talk? There's the link. If you don't want to come in and talk, I got that this show is going to end in about 20 minutes because I can do that. I got things I got to do anyway. Like, for example, I got to talk to Kenna. They talked it. That was back in June. Okay, in June. Okay, well then why are they just getting around to releasing them now? And yeah, Dave, I agree with you there. But you know what? To be honest, he don't care. He don't care. Okay. He got released because he was not showing up on time. General negligence. Okay, well, there you go. Thanks, Mike. Here's the thing, and I'm going to address this right here. So a first round cornerback, okay, but here's the thing: if you're a first round talent, but have a 5 cent head, this is a call. And I remember that the Raiders always used to be. When you ran out of options, when everybody else gave up on you, the Raiders took you in. This is in the 60s and 70s, by the way. You ran out of options. You were being escorted out of the league. The Raiders were your last shot. Your Raiders are your last shot. Okay. If he plays like he wants to play as a first round talent and says, I have something to prove, then that'll be fantastic. That will be fantastic. So, we got Doc in here. So at least we got somebody in here. Remember, if nobody comes in, well, Doc's going to at least take us to close to 10:30. So we're going to bring Doc in. Doc, by the way, how you doing, brother? Good to hear from you. Good to see you.
I wanted to check in with you to see how you were doing.
That's off. That's off. That's off camera, man. That's off camera.
Okay. Okay. Um, By the way, how are you doing with your Raiders now?
Good, good. And it's this is what, as I tell people, for the most part, being with the people, the majority. Let me say this specifically. Being with the majority of Raider Nation gives me a very warm, positive feeling inside. Okay, and it keeps me going. It keeps me going. So I'm going to say that as I continue to do this weekend, I will be driving instead of flying. It's about the same distance, it's about 5 hours, but I'll be on the road. And at least if I need to, get something to eat or get some, I can get at my will, I can go and do that. But I will be driving from my house down to Miami on Friday.
Oh,
There'll
that's
be
right.
events, Friday night and Saturday night. Of course, the game on Sunday.
Hmm.
So I will enjoy that, and then come back up, Monday, and relax after that, and then it'll be like another week of. It won't be as much of a downtime on Monday where the entire day is shot on Monday. Only several hours is shot on Monday, and I can actually go in and do some things on Monday night instead of just flying in and getting here around midnight. So Monday's usually it's a full gone game, a full gone day, but it will be a lot better. So yeah, and '07 has a question for you, Matt, and I've asked you this as well. You said, Coach Bill, is this his last season? I think it is.
I believe it is, but Bob Kraft is very, very. When he speaks to the public now, he appears rather agitated. Robert Kraft doesn't get very agitated. He's a fine Jewish man like you. Well, at least you're half of it. But
Half.
he at least ha ha ha. But and by the way, don't forget, man, you guys are coming up quick. It's coming
All
up
right,
quick.
all right.
Hanukkah. Don't forget.
Yeah, I got. Yeah.
Um,
Hanukkah. What is it? Hanukkah is like you said, and I'm gonna do the half
it's
Jewish
about
side
the
of
first
me.
second week this year.
Yeah, but here's the
It,
thing: is that Hanukkah, like people would say that, hey, you get Christmas, you get a lot of great presents on Christmas, and for Hanukkah, the one. Wait a second, Doc. Wait a second. This is a joke. This is a joke. Everybody thinks
oh,
that the
okay. Ha
presents
ha
are
ha.
fantastic. Okay, is that hey, I got a ruler or I got a bookmark for one of my Hanukkah gifts. It's a
Hmm.
different it's a different animal. But yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I will celebrate in spirit because of my father. But
Right on.
with the family, Christmas is still the big holiday around here, so we'll be doing that.
Yes. But the other thing was for me, Bill Belichick was really good when he first got to us. He was really, really good. He had Charlie Weiss running the offense. He had Romeo Cornell running the defense. He had Parsegian doing the offensive line and defensive line. He had some good people. But it, like anything else, it all goes away eventually. Drew Bledsoe was a great quarterback. Bill didn't like him because he wasn't consistent, but Drew had a hell of an arm. He had a gun, and he proved it to other teams. The problem was he got hurt too much, and after that one hurt
Hmm.
that got him out of the game against the Jets, that was it for him pretty much. That destroyed him. But he's still a good guy, and he's in our Hall of Fame now up in Gillette, and he's a great guy. He really is a good person. I mean, I don't know what to I, I don't know what to tell people about the Patriots anymore. I told them I grew up with the worst of the worst. Anything after that was better. And whether it was Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, whether it was Doug Flutie doing the 1 point kick in the one of the last games of the season that year to get 1 point, and Bill was like, "If you would have missed that, I would have killed you." Um, we did some crazy shit as a team, but we did really well as a team. Corey Dillon coming
Mhm.
over from the Bengals, and people saying you don't want that piece of shit. That guy ran us through 2 Super Bowls. He was good,
Yep.
good runner.
Hmm.
If you get a like you guys with the Raiders, if you can find a good guy who can do what you want him to do and say here, the ball's yours, do it, and they do it. That's the problem with a lot of the players today. They're all too wishy washy, and I guess it's called what woke attitude. Um, but the thing is, if they get rid of the attitude and remember, it's not about them; it's about team. It's like in the
Hmm.
Navy, okay? When we're on board ship, when they see their own quarters, the whole team gets together. Not part of the ship; the entire ship gets together. Or when you're in a
Hmm.
battalion and the battalion packs up and says, "Saddle up." We got places to go. We all settle and we all got places to go. And that's what I'm liking about what Antonio Pierce is doing, you guys. He's finally
Right.
putting this together. He's bringing them together as a team. I didn't like him because of what he did to the Patriots and took away their 19-0 season, and that's my thing, and that's my problem. But what I like about him and his attitude that he wants to make them a winner. He wants to make, and he grew up a Raider fan. He grew like Richard Sherman. He's straight out of Compton. He's the kind of guy that wants to do the right thing for the team that he loves. I
Hmm.
have no disrespect for that. I have no downfall for that. I believe in when you believe in your team and you believe that you can do something special. Why not do it?
I got you. Now I got a question for you, and it's been put up here. And by the way, Clayton, my awesome Bronco buddy, I will say congratulations on your win. I called it on Wild Wild West. I said there's no reason why the Broncos can't go up into Buffalo and beat the Bills. And I said
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't
right.
be surprised if it happened. And I didn't get a chance to see the final. I saw most of the game flying Southwest because I got a chance to see the TV, and I saw the touchdown and the extra point, which was giving the
Oh
Buffalo
wow.
the lead, and then the TV went out when the Broncos got the ball, right, and they had like a first down inside Buffalo territory, and the TV went out. I'm like, oh my God, there's like only a minute left in the game, and I didn't know. I said, don't leave me hanging like this. I said, I said the way that they were playing, I said the Broncos are going to win this game, and they did in fact do that.
Kind of like
So
the hiding game, huh?
yeah, yeah. Well, for me, it was basically like the hide again. And Clayton's going to be coming on shortly, so that's good. Thanks, brother. Yeah, Donkey's winning actually. Yeah, in that respect, that it for a playoff berth, okay, it knocks the Bills down. It knocks the Bills down a peg for for their losses as well. Although the head, the Bills still got us on head to head, and the Broncos,
Mm-hmm.
we got them on head to head right now. But I'm telling you, the last game of the season with the Broncos is going to be a
Ooh.
very tight game. Very tight
That
game.
could that could be a bone biter because for that game, that could be the difference of being a wild card or being in the slot, depending on how the West falls in.
See, I didn't know this. I did not know this. There was 12 men on the field. There was a final missed field goal, so the Broncos got to kick another. I did not know that. I only saw the
Really?
final score.
Oh
I did not
wow!
know that. So thank you for letting me know that. We'll talk to Clayton
Oh,
about that because again,
whoa!
Clayton is a Broncos fan. I'm sure that he will
Oh
uh
wow!
he will talk about that as well. I'm gonna say this as well, Doc, and this will be my question to you. With the fact that you're saying that this is Bill's last year, okay,
It's a good
and
possibility.
right, if he goes, who replaces him? Because I tell you, they would be stupid. They would be stupid if they gave it to Josh McDaniels.
No,
Josh
they
McDaniels has
gave
shown enough of himself. Yeah.
No,
No.
no. He
No.
may be a offensive or a quarterback coach, but he's not going to be a head coach in New England.
Thank
But
you.
no, sorry,
Oh, you
I
can
didn't
do
mean to
that now,
speak.
but we
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm trying to be
we can
careful. I'm
we
told
can curse.
I'm being
Yeah.
respectful. Lil might be in the room.
I
I
know.
don't want to curse Lil. Okay, so
No,
but
she don't
no.
listen to me.
You give that girl a hug for me, okay? And me and my wife and my son, please.
I will. I will. I will. She don't
And
listen
please be
anyway.
careful
So
out
don't worry.
there. And I wish you well with the hunt. I'm still looking. I still have one right now, but I'm trying to get another one on the East Coast. This West Coast with deserts killing us. We're trying to get out of Arizona and back either the Carolinas or somewhere like that. So we'll see.
Well, hopefully I will find something soon. That's what tomorrow will be because again, I had so much going on today. I didn't do any resumes like I needed to, but hopefully Kenneth's still here. I think he is. Yeah, I see something marked at 10:24. Kenneth, don't go nowhere after the show. I will be calling you, sir. I got your number. Okay.
He's good.
Hey,
He's just 3 minutes left on his phone.
yeah, yeah. Don't go nowhere, Ken. I'm going to be calling you. Doc, thanks for coming in, man. I'm going to get the positive Philly as well.
Love you. Take care.
I love you as well, brother. You take care now. That's Doc Cabral, my buddy. Um, wow. The Bills tried to give the game. The Broncos tried hard to not take the gift. It was hard to watch. Wow. Again, I didn't want. The final minute I didn't see because the TV went out on the flight. So let me go into positive Philly now. Positive Philly, you're here, brother. You're here.
Jack.
What is up with you, man? Give me your best, man. What are we talking
How's
about
it going?
tonight?
Well, you're going to be you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan this week, and I did say that correctly for you.
Okay. Who are the Eagles playing? Oh, they are. They're playing the Chiefs on Monday night. That's right.
Super Bowl rematch.
Yes. Where is it? Is it in Philly or is it in Kansas City?
It's in Kansas City.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now does that give the Eagles more incentive to beat them on Monday night in their home field?
I think so. Especially Super Bowl, like I still have, still think about that, and I just even though we lost in the Super Bowl, it would just feel so good to beat the Chiefs. Feel so good to beat Mahomes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
We would be making a statement, but yeah, I'm excited. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about it, but I got this week to get myself ready for it and prepare for it. I mean, not that I have nothing to do, but And then you guys got the Dolphins.
And the next two games for the Raiders are going to be probably the toughest games that they've had so far this year. We go to Miami, okay, and play a Dolphins team, which is obviously one of the better teams in the AFC, which has lost a couple games because they can't get their stuff together. But I think that the Raiders are coming in, and the Dolphins are thinking, okay, well, this one's an easy one. Okay, that causes echo. Google is okay. Kenna, it says a bug that causes an echo, so you might be having an echo. Please ask your guest to wear headphones to avoid echo or use a different browser. They said that, were you informed? It says you were informed. Yes, no, yes. Okay, good. You were informed. Okay, hopefully use a different browser. I got you. Come back. But yeah, Philly, while I got you here as well, what are your thoughts on the fact that you got the Chiefs on a bye? Now, were you guys on a bye?
Yeah,
too?
we run about too.
Okay, so you both have the advantage of coming in on a bye, so there's that makes it even, and that's a good thing. Okay, so what are your thoughts of? I mean, honestly, unbiased. I mean, if say you're from the deep south, okay, the deep south of Argentina, okay, but you know about American football. You're not even from the deep south of the United States. You're from the deep south of Argentina, but you know about American football. give me an unbiased opinion of what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen with the Chiefs Eagles game on Monday night, which is something I will actually watch when I come back on Monday.
I think it's going to be a good game, just as competitive as the Super Bowl was. And if I'm being honest, either team could win, but I think the Eagles can, have the advantage this time around.
Other than, I mean, anything other than just the grudge match advantage of beating the team you should have beat in the Super Bowl the season prior.
I really don't think so. No,
Is it really just that easy?
No.
You think that the Eagles are that much of a better team than the Chiefs are this year?
No, they're not. They're about the same.
Well, but the Eagles have only lost once, and the Chiefs have lost twice. So, statistically, as far as record, you are a better team.
Statistically, as records, but I mean, playing wise, I mean, I think they obviously both play at the same level. Does that make sense?
I got you. I mean, there is only one game difference. And Clayton the Bronco says he's calling it 28-25 Eagles. So you guys win by a field goal. I don't know where you get that 25. Did the Chiefs miss a point or something, or miss two? I don't know. But Clayton's saying that the Eagles win by 3. I like that because I like to see the Chiefs get another loss. But the point is on the Chiefs getting another loss, and I always used to say this as well. I always want to see a team that comes in to play the Raiders, usually on a win, because then the Raiders can catch them on a high and knock them down. If the Chiefs come into Vegas after a loss in their home stadium on a Monday night, it'll be that much harder to beat them the following Sunday.
What's your guys' record right now?
We're 5-5.
5-5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you believe in the rookie? You think that's the guy or no?
Do I believe in who?
Do you believe in the rookie quarterback playing right now? What's his name?
Yeah, more than the alternative. Yeah, okay. I believe in Aiden O'Connell playing quarterback over Jimmy Garoppolo. That's an easy yes. That's an easy yes.
Is he the guy or?
To be determined, but I like what I've seen so far. You give him an actual offensive line that can block for him, to give him the opportunity to look over the defense a little bit more and to learn those things. Like I said, he's going to have to be, like Peggy was saying, he's going to have to be more of a rollout quarterback because that offensive line is not giving him enough time. Okay.
Right.
The offensive line is not giving him. And by the way, that's been an issue for a couple years because Carr, and I hate saying that name, but Carr would roll up like a little boll weevil when he saw all the defenders coming in after him, and he wouldn't be able to roll out and get out of a sack. At least O'Connell is showing that he can move. He's not always going to be getting out of those moves, but at least O'Connell is showing that he can move and get away from sacks, where Carr would just bowl up into a little like a boll weevil, like a cockroach, and just take it. So there you go.
Yeah. I know we're in the midst of football season, but with baseball season just ended and a lot of free agency questions, I want to ask you these two questions.
Sure.
You think we trade, or you think we're trading Reese Hoskins and Aaron Nola? I'm hearing a lot of talk
they're free agents. We don't trade them. They're at the end of their contract.
True. I did forget they're both free agents. You think we've re-signed either one of them? I can see Nola coming back. I think Reese is going to go.
Actually, I think it might be the other way around because I think we can sign Reese on a contract that's of lower value, cash value, maybe a 1-year deal because he is coming off injured. Whereas I think Nola is going to go to whoever bids the highest. And I don't think the Phillies are going to bid the highest for him.
I mean, we definitely have to get another pitcher if we get rid of him.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. If Nola goes, you definitely need a pitcher because you can't just have the two
Wheeler.
kids that played for the Mets. Taijuan Walker is great, and I'm brain farting the better guy, the one that when it was just juice, with the beard. What's his name? Our best starting pitcher, not Nola. Our best starting pitcher.
Not Wheeler.
What is his name? Yeah, Wheeler.
Wheeler?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
You got Wheeler and Walker, and then you got who else? Ranger Suarez? No.
Yeah.
You need to have somebody else. So, yeah, you're definitely going to need a starting pitcher. And that's why I think that Nola goes and that you have another starting pitcher come in. So,
We'll see.
all right. But, hey, thank you on that, brother, and I appreciate you popping in.
Yes, sir, Captain. Thank you.
You got it, man. Always good to hear from you, Positive. That's Positive Philly. And back by popular demand, and I'm glad that he actually has some juice on his phone, because that's amazing when you can say I got more than 45%. I don't know what your stock average is on your phone, Jack. I'm just asking. But thank you for coming in. It is your and yeah, I would love to win our next 3 games. Well, I'll take it back. Let's see. The next would be the Dolphins and then the Chiefs. Yeah. And then we have the Vikings after that. Yeah, I would love to win our next 3 games. We would be 8-5. Now, granted, that's if. And I'm not putting the cart before the horse. We got to win each one that's played with. 19%. Okay. Hey, good. Jack, again, don't go nowhere or be available after the show. I got to ask you something. What are your thoughts of what you've seen in the last 2 weeks, and what are your prognostication for not just this game in Miami, but the next 2? You got Miami, and then I know that you're going to have to project and guess. But what's your guess on Miami, and then what's your guess for the following week playing Kansas City for the first time this year, but with a rejuvenated Raiders team that actually looks like it cares?
So, Cap, salute to you, Cap. Salute to the nation. Love all my brothers and sisters out there. This team does look rejuvenated. There is a different vibe that we have not felt the whole season. And we're seeing it like smoking cigars, having dancing within the locker room, having dancing before the practice. And now we're playing like the old school Raider football way. We're like, it's Smash Mouth. It totally reminds me of the stuff we used to do in the past. So am I proud? Yes, I am so proud of what this team has been doing. And I hope, that Mark Davis doesn't make the same type of mistakes he made the first time around, and getting rid of a head coach that can inspire the players, which AP has done.
Okay, but that now, Jack, I'm gonna
slow
your roll right here. Okay, you're projecting that this continues.
No,
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping.
Right.
That's all I'm doing is I'm hoping it's going to continue the same way. So we're going from 2 teams, the Giants, they're not very good.
No.
The Jets are super good on defense, but they are the exact opposite on offense.
Which is why we won the game, because we out offense them.
And Spillane made a great catch at the very end, and and our quarterback, so AOC4. So that's a great question. People were talking about in your channel. Can I see that? I'm like, number one, I don't want to spoil everything for Friday night. I'm going on with OG. We're doing Dos Pendeos again.
Nice.
But,
nice.
So that's going to be, he's excited and inspired with, what the team is doing. But at the same time, he kind of reminds me of a Derek Carr. It's like he should be worthy of number 4. Devontae says this kid is looks like a veteran. And we look at what the numbers are. He only had like 150, 160 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Patrick Mahomes had 3 picks. Other quarterbacks had 3 picks against this Jets defense. So, I mean, he shows poise. He shows promise. So I'm hoping the same thing with our coach. I'm hoping that we keep improving every week.
Mhm.
So against Miami, so Cap, I'm going to, we'll talk after the show. I'm going to Tahoe, and make some bets. The Raiders are like, a 10-point underdog. I'm going to bet on that game. So if you need me to make a bet for you, let me know. But
So
it's like I like the promise. I really like the promise of what this team, and I like the energy of this team because have you felt the whole season? Has its energy been this high?
No.
No.
We saw, like I said, I saw it the last 2 games up close and personal. I saw it before the Giants game, the way the coach came out at the Blitnikoff Crab Fest, how energized he was and how he got that energized to the crowd. And, people are believing in him because he is not just oh, shucks, the team needs to play better type of asshole. I'll call McFired an asshole because he was.
Can I do it once? Can I please do it once?
Yeah, go ahead. Only once. Only
once.
once.
Okay. So I said that on the Wild Wild West show, and Alex is like, hey, give him his time. So now that I'm on your show, so Raider Nation, I'm very proud to call him McShitnuts. And I will call him McFired every time after that on the Cap show because I have a lot of respect for my boy Cap.
You can call him McDummy. You can call him.
No, I agree. I like McFired because you know what? He got fired, and you know what? That's what we all wanted as Raider Nation for the most part is to get him fired. So he's gone.
And like I said, that is all you need to call him because again, you don't need to belittle somebody that is already so low that it's easy to belittle them.
No, it was not about belittling him. It was about what he was doing for our team and what I saw that was happening for a long time. And I've been calling that out for a long, long, long time.
You have.
So it's like, that's why I called him that name. It's like, when I see players and coaches and I see what's going on with this team and I recognize it because I've been watching this team since 1975. So that's the reason why it's like, I didn't like this guy. So I'm just glad that we are turning the page. And at the first time, it's like we're turning people over at midseason. Raider Nation doesn't know this a lot. It's like, okay, yeah, we saw Bisaccia turn us over, but we saw a lot of Raider coaches when we turned it over, and we didn't do well. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping we do really well against the Dolphins, even though Al Davis would salivate over the Dolphins offense.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're so fast.
Al Davis has a Woody right now, and he's been dead for over 10 years.
Yeah, he loves that Dolphins offense because it's got all the speed. So I'm just hoping, our Raiders defense can keep doing what they're doing, especially with all the money on the offensive side of the ball and keep doing this. And I love what AP is doing. Hey, he said 2 players. He didn't say Devontae. He didn't say Max Crosby. He said Spillane and our running back and Josh Jacobs. These guys are the guys that are going to carry this team. And look what they did this last game. He inspires men. And that is the one thing that Josh McFired, so I said I'd stop, never did. He can't do that. He said, the players get paid money, so do your job. But this head coach right now is inspiring players, and I love kind of going back. It's a throwback to what the old school Raiders were. Smash mouth football, run the ball, defend the ball, grind it out. And that's what this team is doing right now. Your thoughts, Cap?
Yeah, no, like I said, I like what I see. I like the fact that the players are behind him. I like the fact that he brings something to the table other than leadership. Okay, Versace was all about leadership. He was your uncle that you wanted to play for. Okay, and that's the way it was. It was that type of stuff. People want to play for Pierce because of his fiery competitiveness and the fact that he was down there with him. Okay, as a player. Okay, he was a stalwart linebacker on a Super Bowl champion team. You can't teach what that means, but you can have folks try to emulate that or pick up on that. And that's why I think that what he brings is great. So I hope that they will continue to play for him. And even if the wins don't come, if they continue to show the grit and the determination and to not give up and the fuck it, we're gonna win. And if we don't win, we're gonna play so hard that remember when people would play the Raiders and the next week there would be at least six guys. There would be six guys that didn't play for the other team because they were already broken, busted from playing the Raiders the week before. That's what I want to see. I want to see where I'm not saying hurt people. I'm just saying that they were broken because of the way that the Raiders played them. That's what I want to see. Okay. And
Cap, I totally agree with
everything.
everything you just said right there. It's like when you play us, you're going to remember that you played us. And that is old school Raiders football. And that's what the last two games have been about, old school. And it's like, I love the fact that that's what's going on. And, that inspires, like, an old guy like me, and I'm sure it inspires you too, what the younger generations don't see. Like this pass-happy league, he stuck to the run. He stuck with it, and it paid off. And it's like, things are a little different, like with passing and the rules in the NFL versus what, you and I grew up with. Like, you can pretty much manhandle somebody and not get a flag. This league, everything is a flag. So I got to give kudos to the Raiders defense for what they've done, because with it's like $52 million or something like that overall,
It's
what we use.
It's not a lot of money. Yeah.
It's not a lot of money, and they've done well. So I got to give Graham his props too for doing that. And do you know about this Jack Johnson guy? I know a little bit about what I've read. It's so he was under AP in college. He's known him since he was a kid, in the local community. 4th round draft pick. And I watched some of the San G stuff, and it's he kind of looked good. It's I'm kind of happy we got him. I don't know much about him, honestly. So do you know anything about him?
All I know is that he's talented and that we need cornerbacks that can actually play. And like Peggy was saying, come back, GA. I hope that GA can come back, because I'm going to say this and I'm going to let Jack go, because I want Georgia Patriot to come in here and finish off the show as well. I just know he's a talented
put him on with me first before you kick me off, just so I can say hi to him, okay?
No, he left. That's why I'm saying just tell him to come back, because he popped out, GA left. So hopefully he'll come back. The point is that, if he's talented, as long as he brings the talent with him, if he's a $1 million talent but has a nickel head, I don't think he's like that, because I don't think Antonio Pierce would want somebody that has zero smart. So I'm hoping that they picked up. There we go. We got Georgia coming back. That we got somebody coming back that has the ability and the talent and will use his head correctly. Van City said he's a dog and has a stellar rookie season. I'm going to put you on a 3-screen with Georgia, so you can say goodbye to him quickly, and I'll get Georgia in here as well. And then there you go.
Hey, GA.
What's
It's
going
good.
on?
Hey, it's good to finally see you on a show. We've talked a million times and saluted in a million chats. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to say hello. Salute, brother.
Salute. Good content. Good comments tonight.
All right. So guys, I'm just gonna plug it in for Cap Night Boy, Friday night, Dos Pandeos. I'm going on with OG, and we're gonna do some Mick fired stuff.
Right.
Well,
All right, guys.
but on their show, see, I'll say it for you. On their show, it's McShitnuts.
Yes,
So
there you go. Thank you, Cap.
Yeah,
Love you
I
for
said
that,
it
brother.
for you. I said it for you because you can't say it anymore. I gave you your one, so I said
You
it for
did.
you. Go make sure you watch it. Dos Mendeos talking about, and I won't say it again. That coach that I
So,
call McFired, and he has another name for him.
and I will say McFire. So, how much longer is your show going for? You said you want to call me afterwards. So,
Quickly, because I got. Yeah, I probably only about another 10 minutes because I got to get off and I
okay.
got to call you
Then I'll have
quickly
some time.
about this. All right. Good seeing
Yep.
you, brother.
All right. Good night, gentlemen. Good night,
you go.
nation.
There you go. That's Jack Kenna. He's out, but we're gonna spend a few minutes with Georgia. Hey, I was gonna say, Clayton, if you want to talk about your Broncos, you better get in here quick, brother, because I'm keeping this at or below 2 hours so I can use it when I need a show. Alice Ghost, good to see you, and Turkey in here. Got Vance. You got some of the old timers back. I'm glad we're getting the band back together again. Georgia,
the
good
chat
to see you as
started
well.
the chat started picking up towards the end of the show.
Yeah,
noticed that.
as I said, remember, guys, I only do 2 hours. I only do 2 hours because I can't. I can go over 2 hours, but I can't redo the shows. That's why that show that had that fucktard named Francisco Pancho, I can't do that show because it's over 2 hours. I can't re-show it,
Right.
and
It was a
I
good
need
one.
to just cut that portion. Yeah, I need to just cut that portion for a funny show. Like, if you want to
Right.
see what a real imbecile and asshole is, just watch this. So there
Right.
you go.
Right.
Go ahead,
How we doing, Cap?
GA. Hey, not bad, not bad. Again, the positivity of being with the positive folks of Raider
Yeah.
Nation, and I'll just leave it at that. There are people
Hey.
that I'm not going to say any more other than I will keep with the positivity of the people that deserve it.
Yeah.
We'll just say it that way.
I kind of get irritated by people that get upset about a win. And I know content creators have to have content to create, right? But it was a good win. It was a good. I mean, we knew going into the game of the Jets game, it was going to be a defensive battle. Our strength was defense versus their strength is defense. In my opinion, that's the toughest defense that we had left to face this year. And we win them field goal for field goal. Our defense, our red zone defense since the Lions game
Remarkable.
has been unbelievable. I mean, you can get into the red zone, but that's as far as you go. You might as well just go ahead and kick field goal when you cross the 20, because we're not letting people in the end zone. But what I wanted to come in and talk to you about was what we kind of started talking about an hour ago, which was the new kid that we picked up, the guy we picked up that has the off field problems. The new cornerback.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have a lot of talent. I don't know a lot about him, but he's got history with the coach. He has some off the field issues. They wouldn't have signed him if they didn't feel like it was okay. But the way I see it is, it's high upside, low downside, right? Because if he comes in and he balls out and he straightens himself up and plays right and acts like a professional, then we just got a top talent for basically free, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, if he comes in and plays good for a few games and then starts showing his butt, and we have to cut him, who cares? We got him for free, right? We gave nothing. We picked him up off of waivers. We gave nothing but his salary, right?
Yeah,
so
he's a rental.
Yeah. So I mean, if he works out and he gets back with his old college coach, from what I understand, and I don't know this to be fact, don't quote me. From what I understand, he went to high school at the team that AP was his high school coach, and then he went to college with AP's son at Arizona State, where AP was his coach part of that time.
Right.
And so he's got history with him. He's known him since he was a kid. Maybe he can put a boot in his butt and straighten him out. Who knows? But if
Right.
not,
And that's what I'm
we
saying. They know what
right,
they got in them. And I think
right,
that it's going
exactly,
to say, listen, if you come here, you got to show me what I know you can be, not the the pain in the ass
right,
project that got
right.
you kicked out of New England. And so it's a
And
win-win.
right.
And,
And
and, and
if you
I'm
don't,
fine with that.
we didn't invest a bunch of draft capital in you. We didn't trade off somebody for you. We picked you up off of waivers, right? So
Right.
basically, it's
Yeah.
we've really got nothing to lose, right? And going back to what you were talking about, what you and I remember was when the Raiders was we were the recycling team, right? If everybody
Yeah.
else was done with you and you still had gas in the tank, and you just wanted to get out there on the field and bust people in the mouth for 60 minutes every Sunday, come to the Raiders. We'll give you a shot, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if you make it, you make it. And if you don't, you don't, right? But
Yeah.
Haynes, Mike Hayes, I mean, the list.
Well,
How
no,
many?
no,
How
no,
many
no.
guys? No.
No, well, Haynes we traded for because he still had that ability. Okay.
Right.
But
Yeah. Okay.
John Matusak, Lyle
Matuzak.
Alzado,
Yes.
Ted
Alzado.
Hendricks, Mike
Absolutely.
McCoy,
Exactly. You're
a
taking my list away from me.
a lot of defenders, and even with Jimmy Plunkett, what said, hey,
Yeah.
you this was redeemed. He went from the Patriots to the Niners and was an afterthought. Picked him up,
Rich
and we won 2
Gannon.
Super Bowls with him.
Rich Gannon.
Rich Gannon, right? Went from the Vikings to the Chiefs to us,
Right.
and was the was it player of the year? Okay,
Yeah.
so
And he was
people will get
he was going to be a
redemption here.
backup quarterback somewhere, and Gruden was like, "No, we're gonna go to the Super Bowl instead."
Yeah, we're gonna pick this guy up, and it's like
Right.
we're getting rid of Jeff George, and you're getting rid of Jeff George because Jeff George, the $1 million arm with the nickel head. But so he knew what he had with Rich Gannon. He knows that the determination and what he could do. So
But that's
this
Raider
is where
history.
you can't go.
Everybody's talking about going back to the Raider way. Well, that's part of the Raider way. We pick up
Right.
pieces that other people have thrown away and give them a shot, and they either make it or they don't. And if they make it, boom. And if they don't, next man up, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking
That's
at this new cornerback. And I mean, he's got talent. He was drafted by the Patriots. He's got talent. He didn't like playing for the Patriots, and he's obviously not Patriot material.
Which is good because we're getting rid of Patriot material. There you go.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. If he's got talent. I mean, it's cornerback. You could throw him in Sunday. I mean, he's not going to play the whole game. He's not going to understand the system, but you can throw him in on a couple plays Sunday.
Yeah, I said this is what your job is. Do it.
Right. Because on man coverage plays, the cornerback doesn't have a whole lot to learn. That guy, get that guy.
Yeah,
Don't let him catch the ball. That's your job.
exactly.
Right.
Keep on him and don't let him catch the ball. And if you can,
he could possibly fill in for a while if a meat can't play.
Yeah, and like I said, I saw the injury, and I saw Meek Robertson coming off the field, coming towards me, and he didn't know what day it was when he was leaving the field. He definitely did not know what he. I don't even think he knew where he was. So
now, on Max Crosby's podcast, Crosby has his own podcast on YouTube now, and on his podcast today, he was saying that after the game, Meek was in the locker room partying with the guys, and he was fine.
Yeah,
but he still got to go through the protocol, and that was scary.
Right.
It was scary. So, anyway, I just wanted to jump on for a minute, say what's up, show off my new jersey I got in Vegas at the Raider Raider image.
Yep.
A lot of people talk about going to Vegas and losing their house down payment at the casinos. I almost spent mine at the Raider image.
Well, I spent way too much money on the Bo Jackson signing on Saturday. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. And considering that I'm not working, I don't even want to talk numbers right now. But hey,
That's the
Georgia,
first
thanks
time
for coming
that's the
in.
first time I ever walked into a store that was nothing but Raider gear,
Yeah,
and I straight up wanted to buy everything in the place.
yeah, I know.
But I made it out with Charles Woodson jersey and a new hat, so I did okay.
Call it. That's small. That's small in comparison. Man.
Absolutely.
Hey, take care, partner. I got a bust off below 2 hours.
Peace,
And I'm at
Nation.
158.
Hey, we have a very serious chance of beating the Fins, and there's no way we lose to Kansas City. Peace.
All right. I like that. Hey, I'll take that prognostication. Thank you there, Georgia. Appreciate you having on, man. Good to hear from him, and I hope he is correct. As stated, I'm at 1 hour and 58 minutes and a couple seconds. This is my show. We were chopping it up with Peggy. I had a chance for you guys to come in and talk in afterwards. Remember, Peggy's on with me every 2 weeks. If I might do a show next Tuesday, just cause, but maybe I'll get somebody. Maybe I'll do a show by myself. I don't know. I don't care. If I want to, I will. And come on in and see us. Thank you for being here. I want to thank all the people that came in. It's always a pleasure. Even though Clayton didn't get a chance to come in, I know Clayton is going to be very, very high on his Broncos. Congratulations on that win. I didn't realize that they won it on stupidity by the Bills. But you know what? The way the Bills were giving things away, it doesn't surprise me. Hey, Ron, good to see you. I got to go now. I'm sorry, but take care. I will be back tomorrow. Wild, Wild West tomorrow, along with NFL Nation Live. NFL Nation Live at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Then Wild, Wild West at 7:30 just tomorrow in the next 2 weeks for Wild, Wild West coming in. NFL Nation Live coming at you. Take care, everybody. Gotta go. Have a good one. We'll see you for 2 shows tomorrow.